this one is explanatory. Views, you might need more than one view. These can be a little bit sketchier because the purpose of them is to explain, but they're definitely tighter than a concept sketch, but they're not as tight as a final rendering. And you want to explain the key features and functions of the vacuum. So that the client can understand what it is that you've designed that's unique and good and wonderful. So like, well, I didn't draw that right. So if there's a door that opens, you might want to access the bag that's holding the dirt. You know, maybe you want to use an arrow. We practiced arrows one day to show that this and showing that this opens to access the dirt container, and inside here, like my vacuum cleaner, just a little kind of cheap vacuum cleaner, has a paper bag in here that holds the dirt. So some of the things you might need to action them to show how they are actioned. If they open to access something, then show them open. And if you can't show it all in one view, then you may need another view. Like you may need to show this again to show that that bag comes out, and behind that bag there is a hole that where the suction actually pulls the dirt into the bag. So So I'll leave it up to you how deep you want to go with your explaining, but for sure this part you would have to explain. That's really critical to the function of the vacuum cleaner, but maybe it's enough to show that there's you know, a dirt container inside here. I probably wouldn't write it right on it. I'd probably do an arrow. And you could say remove to discard dirt or something. And this is on, off, switched. Some of you talked about rotating handles, so maybe you'd want to show that's what you have, that the handle rotates. Whatever it is that you need to explain. Maybe this is a light, and all that needs is a call out. And maybe this tilt, this is a tilted swivel mechanism. if you have some new technology, then maybe you do need to do cutaway. We didn't practice cutaways very much, but you know, inside here, maybe there's that brush. That rotates to pick up the dirt. I'll leave it up to you how deep you want to go, but I think you should, I would really like you to have at least one part that you've moved it, you pulled it away, or you rotated it, just so you can practice that kind of drawing. Something you're likely to do a lot in your career is explaining how your designs work. Your ideas need to be explained without you being able to verbally explain them. A lot of times your client is on the other side of the world or other side of the country, and your drawing itself has to do all of the explaining. So this is rotating brush. So for the assignment, I'm looking for an 8.5 by 11 with explain some features. And I'm having you do the explanatory view before the final rendering, because when you do the explanatory view, you may realize, oh, I'm going to need some kind of a latch or a catch here to hold this shut, and something for the user to touch to release. You know, it could be a push to be released, or it could be rotate. You know, you're gonna, in the process of doing this explanatory view, hopefully you will discover little details that you didn't think about when you're drawing your final three. And then you'll need to include those on your final rendering, which is next week. Questions? How come you guys are so quiet? You can do this in black and white, or you can do it in color. Like I said, it's medium tight. It's looser than a final rendering. And it's tighter than a concept sketch. And its purpose is to explain your idea. Especially explain things that you couldn't see by looking at the finished product, like this thing opening. You might want to explain how to clean it out. You might want to explain switches and controls. If it's got a cord, you know, where does the cord go in? Where does it come out? Where does it store? If there's accessories that attach and get carried around inside or outside, where are they? Light, folding handle, those are the things I just, if there's something that you release for tilt, do they have that already? Up here. Tilt could include a release pedal or something. My vacuum cleaner, I have to push the pedal down and that's what releases it. And then when I tilt it back up, it clicks and it stays in the upright position, so it'll stand by itself. Those are some ideas of things you might want to explain. Final rendering is due Tuesday. If you guys want to put those together, it's okay with me, but you might as well just crank them out. And then the following Thursday, the whole presentation, like I just showed you with everything, draft is due on Thursday and the final on the following Tuesday. And then that's it. Semester's over. The following Tuesday, you're going to turn in the revised presentation. The draft will be Thursday. The following Tuesday, you turn it in, and there'll be a written exam. Okay, so here's a student project for electric toothbrush that their idea is that this thing also dispenses the toothpaste. You know, so they're showing a lot of different things, but this is kind of classic explanatory views with arrows and notations explaining how it works. I'm going to leave a lot of license. You guys have learned lots of techniques through this semester. This has got a lot of different ones. It's got the cutaway here. It's got a side view section here. I guess you'd call this a cutaway, taking the whole top half off to show that there's this roller that moves down the bladder full of toothpaste to squeeze the toothpaste out into the bristles. So that's a good example of an explanatory view. I don't know how I managed to have these, but this is from, I think I showed you this already. This is when I was at San Jose State. I did a vacuum cleaner project. This was exploded view of my redesign. And we had to do exploded view of an existing product, which is, this is one I bought down at the Goodwill store. It shows the main components. This vacuum cleaner actually, there was a hose that came out right here that went to a hand, you know, they call it a beater bar, the pipe with just the suction part on the end, and it sucked the dirt up into this a container, a bag that was above these holes. And then the air, the motor was underneath that, and the motor was down in here. The air that was being sucked into the motor was blown out through the bottom. It was basically a hovercraft. So it was a canister vacuum cleaner without wheels, and it worked pretty good. I don't know why that didn't keep selling, because I thought it was pretty cool. It actually worked when I bought it at the Goodwill store. Yeah, this shows there's a slide button to release the blade. What else? Rotate the lid to change the batteries. I think that's probably all the explanatory that's on this one. Now here's one more. Slide the button up to cover the blade. That's another one there. There's the button that she's talking about. And here shows two views. Here's the blade uncovered, here's the blade covered. This is a fold-out CD player. You put in your pocket and you fold it out. In order to play the CD. this one, the resolution is not good enough to see it, but explains how you plug it in, I don't know what that's explaining.